And we are live. Hey, welcome back to the Brilliant Marketing Mary. No, the Brilliant Marketing with Mary show. I have it all convoluted. I haven't done this for a while, guys, but we are back. And I am so excited today because a dear friend of mine that we've actually been on each other's shows before, she reached out to me and she is actually going to be sharing with us something really, really powerful, is how to use your mess to fine tune your message. We're going to talk about vulnerability. We're talking about stories. We're talking about how to really connect and magnetize people to you who want to work with you, who want to be in your space. And she is literally has written the book on this. And she's going to be sharing that with you. So, little housekeeping. If this is something that is interesting to you, we'd love for you to sprinkle it around. And we'd love to hear where you're coming from or listening from or showing up from. So make sure you put that in the comments. And if you have any questions for my brilliant guest, Marta, she is phenomenal. In fact, let me just read you her bio before we get going. In fact, if she was on the screen, she'd probably blush. So I just thought I would get this out of the way. Her name is, it's so cool, is Marta Sauret, like beret, Sauret Greca. And she's actually a triple citizen. America, it's Italy and France. Is that amazing? Okay, that is like the bottom of her bio, but I just think that's the coolest thing. Marta has actually received so many awards in her journey as an entrepreneur. She has been the Women Business Leader of the Year. And just this year, she was the most influential marketing and entrepreneurship expert of 2025 in Pennsylvania. What? Like, that's amazing. She has books. She has one called The Minimalist Method, The Emerging Entrepreneur's Guide to Peace and Prosperity, which again, we both were raised by hoarders. So that is, I can't wait to get that book. And her other book, Powerful Synergy, are both #1 bestsellers on Amazon. In fact, she's writing another one right now she's going to talk about, which I think will change your life. She's been featured in national media outlets like KDKA, WPXI, the Today Show blog, and Inspiring Lives magazine. So she's super fancy. She has over 10 years of marketing experience. She also serves as a spokesperson, content creator, speaker, and consultant for countless holistic and family brands. And this is what I think is amazing, especially because I work with a lot of funeral homes right now. Through being a financial rep in her business, she helps families protect their financial peace by planning for the future and easing the stigma of societal financial burdens. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that too. She has so much goodness to share. I can't wait. And I'm going to finish on this one because I think she deserves a huge award for. She is a mom of 7 children. Yes, you heard that right. 7 children. And she looks like she's 12. Like, she's so young looking and gorgeous. She's seriously from 1 year old. She's a 1-year-old baby through a 17-year-old. And she loves spending time with them and their mini Aussie doodle and chickens that they have. And she loves the outdoors. So without further ado, let me bring on my dear friend, Marta. And here we go. Yay!
Hi, great work on all that. Good job.
Well, I had a lot to work with, which is great.
I was blushing.
Yeah.
How did you know?
Yeah. And I kind of know you. But yeah, that's the thing. Mom of 7, like, holy cow.
Mhm.
Wow.
Mhm.
I'm the baby of 6. My husband's the baby of 7. And I
Right.
always admired our moms because, like, how do you do that? And here you are in living color doing it. Let's start off with that. What's the brilliant tip to managing 7 kids?
Not taking anything too seriously and not really letting anything mean anything about you, not taking anything personally and being completely okay about forgetting stuff. And it doesn't mean anything negative about you. And remembering that we all have a lot on our plates, right? So just remembering that you have a lot on your plate. And so to give yourself grace. Yeah.
I love that. It's so true. And it's funny because I'm just a little bit ahead of you. My kids are 23, 26, 27 next week, and 30. And I remember being so consumed with, like, mom guilt. Like, I'm not doing this, or I'm not doing that, or this is going to mean, so much, and I'm missing this, or I'm doing that, or I did this wrong, like overthinking everything. And now that they're adults, I look back and I go, so, what was your impression of this or whatever? None of that stuff mattered to them. Like, they didn't even care about things that I thought was so important at the time. Like, the most insignificant things is what meant so much to them. And, and so it's like, we all do the best we can, and our kids turn out pretty
Right.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you hope that your mistakes teach them lessons, and you hope that your imperfections build character, and you do the best that you can, and you move your hands, you move your feet, but then you know that God's got them, and
Yeah.
it's not necessarily then a worry about anything. It's just a wonder of what's gonna happen, because it's all gonna just be beautiful.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. We are only shepherding them, right?
Right.
They have been lent to us. So we have to do
Hmm.
the best job and honor him in everything we do, and everything
Yeah.
will turn out right.
And I've
So
experienced days where, and sorry to interrupt, but I've
no,
just
no, go ahead.
experienced days where I'm like, oh my gosh, I am a terrible parent. And then the next day to see how that flips, and it's actually the most beautiful transformation because of that terrible parenting or the thing that you thought that was awful. It's like God always shows me, like, he's got it.
Right. Right. And those
Mhm.
little life lessons. In fact, my kids to this day will be like, Mom, not another life lesson. I'm like, life lesson.
I know. My kids are like, Mom, come
Yeah.
on.
Ugh,
I'm like, it's
ugh.
that criticism that is not going to carry you through life. They're like, okay, Mom.
Turn that frown upside down.
Yeah.
So something my mom always told me, that I read like in the last 10 years, I actually read a scientific study that I'm like, oh my God, like what she was telling me wasn't just made up.
What was
She and I say it to my kids all the time to this day. I'll be like, be careful what you say out of your mouth, because your
it?
ears will hear and your brain will make it true. So my
Hmm.
mom told me that since I was little, like, so
Wise
she,
beyond her years. Yeah.
right? And so I was like, I didn't really like
Light
quite
years
understand
ahead of
it.
mental health.
Yeah, exactly. And so telling,
Yeah.
if you tell yourself you're fat and stupid and lazy, whatever, guess
Mhm.
what? Your brain's going to go, oh, is that what you want? Okay, I'll make it happen. You're fat and dumb and lazy, like, so no,
Mhm.
you have to speak into, the kindness to yourself that you want to be reality, right? I'm not talking about like manifesting and all that stuff. I'm just talking about saying, yeah, I am pretty good at that. Like I can totally figure it out when when the shiz goes down. I'm somebody that people can rely on. I can,
Right.
so like saying those things and recognizing it is so important, um,
Right.
to ourselves and our own mental health, like you said. And
Right. And
speaking of, in your show, you have an actual sponsor, a
yes.
wonderful coffee company. Share with us what the coffee company that sponsors your
Yes.
show.
Oh,
Who's
they're
got
going
the
to
bag?
love this. So it's the Black Oswald Coffee Company, and it is the one coffee company that for every ounce, every grain, every sip that you take, they go to benefit nonprofits that help those experiencing mental health issues. So you can either go to blackoswaldcoffeeco.com and use my code awesome15 and order coffee, and that goes to whatever nonprofits they're currently partnering with, or you can set up your own fundraiser with the brew that you get to customize according to your preference, and that's a good marriage with the nonprofit that you want to benefit.
That is so great. If you get a
Yeah,
chance, I know you're a mom, so you can
yeah,
multitask.
thank you.
Put
Yeah,
into our chat how you spell that, or at least the website, and then I'll put that onto the screen so people can actually see it when we share this video to the world. We're already
yes,
sharing it to
they're
the
gonna
world.
love that.
Yeah, that'd be great. And
And
I
you know
was
what?
reading.
Actually,
Yeah,
there, if you go on my Instagram, which is going to be popping up here,
yes, right there.
you can go to my reel from 2 Fridays ago, and you can tag a friend and win some of this Black Oswald coffee. We haven't picked the winner yet, so there's a
Ooh,
reel in there
there
that
you
you
go.
can
That's a
go
good call to
through,
action.
and yeah,
I love
you can tag a friend and try to win coffee for you and your friend.
I love that. All right, so go to Marta Sauret, like beret,
Yeah.
Sauret
You,
Greca,
yeah.
and do that. Comment, tag a friend. I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on your show. You were doing such a good job plugging your sponsor. So I thought I would have a sponsor of our show,
Yeah.
which is Funeral
Yes.
CRM. So
Yes.
Funeral CRM is our full service, all in one CRM, which stands for Client Relationship Manager, that is designed for funeral homes. And that is one of the industries that I love working with. And this is a cute little coffin my daughter painted. Isn't it so cute? And inside is a phone charger. And our promotion with this is we want to bring your marketing and your phone back to life.
I love
So
it.
people who set up an appointment with me get one of these cool little boxes, little coffins,
That's really
which is kind of
awesome.
fun. I don't think anyone but
Yeah.
a funeral home would want one, but knock yourself out. If you want to do that, we'll send one to you actually in the mail, like a gift.
That's awesome.
Real mail, like not just an Amazon package, but a real box. Yeah.
I freaking love
Anyway,
that.
okay. All right, let's get into the meat of it. We're having so much fun. Okay, so
Yes.
something that I read in your and I'm going to put this actually on the screen. Thought this was very interesting. You said that hold on a second. I want to make sure I put this in here. You mentioned that there is a stigma of
Mhm.
societal financial burdens, and I don't know what that is. So I was
Yeah.
hoping that you could go into a little bit more detail about that.
Well, there's a stigma about when somebody maybe has debt, or there's a stigma about, and maybe I'm not explaining it correctly, but there's a stigma about when someone maybe is just facing certain financial issues that to regular society that would be bad or wrong or irresponsible or whatever. But I try to break that stigma and help raise the wealth consciousness to understand that these are all circumstances. It's not the divine everlasting truth about someone, and that God's abundance is overflowing and there is no limit to it. And part of that too is also wanting to break the societal norms of the financial burdens that are placed on a family that aren't necessarily they aren't necessary, such as they might be called to have their kids in a million activities or summer camps just because that's what everybody around them is doing. Meanwhile, they're experiencing a lot of financial burden, just trying to make it happen, just trying to keep up with everyone else. Or there is the feeling that, oh, with every child that I have to save so much for college. And I want to break that myth about that falling solely on the shoulders of the parents and understanding that we can empower our children to take charge of their own financial house from a young start, and how even just a little bit can go a long way, and it doesn't have to feel like it has to be this big thing on our shoulders that we have to have a huge head start on, and if we don't, then we're behind. We're always where we're supposed to be. We're walking God's given path and everything unfolds as it should. And I get to say this from a place of having been there. Mary has shared, she's had some failures. I've had failures. And
So many.
there's been times when I really felt down about some of the circumstances that I saw around me financially, but I remembered that that's just a circumstance. It's not the divine truth of what's possible.
Right.
And you can either spiral down from those circumstances and make it true, or you can understand that there is so much more behind the scenes of your guardian angels and your ancestors and God, and it's so much bigger than what's in front of you.
Right. We don't see
A
all
lot of
the
yeah.
like I saw this really great graphic once of someone sitting in his bed and he has hands in his hands. He's obviously distressed and he's praying, and all around him are angels, right? And then there's like in the corner were like demons, and the angels are fighting the demons, right? As the
Wow.
person is sitting and praying, like we don't see the realm that we can't see because it's where our eyes are have what do they call it, scales on our eyes or something. And I think it's true, like knowing that most people in this world on this side on the realm are want the best for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes we think that people are against us or they don't have our best interest in mind, but that's not true. And you
Mm-hmm.
can choose to think that and live in scarcity and fear and uh, and not like and just be depressed about it, or you can think, wow, people do have the best interest in me. Like they really want it, but something might be going on in their life that we don't know. Like we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. When
Right.
my kids were little, speaking of kids, I remember that was a thing. I might have gotten it from my mom, but there, like she said, sometimes it's just not about you. And so when our
Mhm.
kids be like, "Oh my gosh, she was mean to me today," or "She gave me a weird look," or whatever, I said, "Well, maybe it wasn't looking at you. Maybe she has a sour tummy. Like
Yeah.
she wants to throw up, but so her face looks like she wants to throw up, but she just happens to be looking towards you, but it's not about
Right.
you, right?" And
Right.
I mean, if you think that way, like if someone does like cut you off in the car, it's not because they are trying to hurt you. Maybe it's because they just like had a cramp that was so painful because they're going through cancer that they swerved off the road for like a split second
Exactly.
and corrected, and they didn't mean to cut you off. Like
Exactly.
so in that way, anyways, I think
I
sometimes we
completely agree with everything you're
change our
saying.
mindset. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
And the
just
fact that
yesterday, and this is a funny example.
yeah.
My friend was coming over for a walk, and she pulled up, and she might hear this, she might not, but and I was walking my dog, and she was like, "Oh man, you look like you're really upset right now. Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, my dog's just pooping. He has diarrhea. It's all over his fur. He's a doodle. Like that's gonna be messy. It's just my dog is pooping, and he has diarrhea.
I have to
I'm
clean that up.
good." Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, I think again, we don't know what's going on in people's lives. And I think that kind of brings us into the topic of the show today.
Mhm.
I love that you have a book coming out about this.
Mhm.
But we're talking about how to really lean in to vulnerable stories that will
Mhm.
help attract the audience that is meant to work with you or be your friend or whatever it is by opening up. So I titled it "How to Use Your Mess to Fine Tune Your Message." But can you tell me a little bit more about your take on vulnerability and stories?
Yeah, vulnerability in stories, I think, also just help to slash that imposter syndrome down because I feel I use the movie 8 Mile as an example where he's on the stage and he's about to rap battle this guy who's like his nemesis, and he's like, "Oh man, this guy is gonna really lay it in me. He's gonna tell people all these truths about me. What am I gonna do?" And then all of a sudden he has this brilliant moment where he's like, I'm gonna tell everybody the truth about me. I'm gonna tell them everything. And then what's anybody gonna say, right? In this and part of that is a part of it where I feel that if you're authentic and you're truthful and you call yourself out, it's so much harder to take anything personally of what anybody has to say about you because you know your truth about you. And then you can go with peace and calm to say, "Hey, I don't have it all figured out. Here's what happened to me." And I think that actually makes you more relatable to those who want to work with you because they see, "Oh, they've been through it, so they can really help me." Not they're perfect, they have it all figured out. That might not even be relatable to them. So that's why I think it's so important about sharing your story. And also from a place of, here's what I've been through. Maybe it can help somebody through a really dark time to read my story and see what I went through and I'm okay. And they can maybe know that they're going to be okay. And I love that in this book, there's 15 authors total. And some of these women I've known for near decades, if any, if more. And I'm learning things about them through their story that I had no idea about. And I would encourage you to listen to my episode that we recorded this week with Mary in it, but also my episode from last week when I had one of the authors on the show, Heather Cherry, who's a co-author of Course Corrected, which is the book coming out September 4th. And she shared a part of her story that is probably the worst thing that could ever happen to you. And I had no idea that that's what she was walking with.
Wow. So it's 15 women who went through things and they're sharing vulnerability and how they got through those issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And I would venture to say some of these stories are like the worst thing that could ever happen to you. And these women shine lights through their community.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes we think, oh, people like that can do it, but we can't.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's heartwarming to see that even in their mess, right? That they, and there probably were days where they were in a fetal position the whole day and didn't want to deal with it, right? But then they realized, well, I can't do that. Like one thing that I took care of my gram her last 8 months of life,
Mm-hmm.
and I had been going through a financial hardship, and then my mom was like, "You promised to take care of her," because I didn't have any kids at the time, and I agreed to do it, and we were going through this total mess. And I remember I just was like, I can't. Like in my mind, I'm like, I just don't think I can do this anymore. I was taking care of grandma. I was dealing with raising my daughter. Like I literally was raising up my daughter and raising down my gram. She was almost 98. She died 6 weeks shy of her 98th birthday. And Haley was like between 1 and 2. And she learned to crawl up. learned to stand by pulling herself up on the little hospital bed. And,
Wow.
and I remember thinking, I have to go on because Haley is counting on me and Graham is counting on me. Like, and so sometimes
Mhm.
it's even external forces that keep you going. And people say, "Oh, you were so strong." I'm like, no, I was hanging on to a rope, because I didn't want to let other people down. I knew that I had to
Mhm.
be there, and if I fell, who would take care of them, right? Like you have to
Mhm.
get into that place. And I think through that, I learned so much about fortitude and this you keep showing up. So repeat the name of the book again because I just love it.
Course corrected, and our team that designed the cover came up with the best tagline and the best subtitle, which I hope I can remember right now because they just showed it to me last night and I was like, this is fucking amazing. Sorry to swear, but
It's
I
all
was
right.
like, there, our creatives are always like, okay, here's the cover, what do you think? And there's people who could probably be like, I don't know, because she was like, I can go back to the drawing board if you don't love it, and I was like, I effing love it. And it's
Do you
called
have an
Course
I should have
Corrected.
asked you, do you have a picture of it you can share?
Do, but I don't have it ready right now. That would
Okay.
be incredible. Um, but
Okay. Course corrected, and it'll be out in
yeah,
September.
it'll be out September 4th. That is the day that we are doing both the Amazon bestseller campaign. So I'm going to ask all of you on September 4th, get on Amazon, look up Course Corrected, and order your copy. And also that evening, so this book, this anthology, which I'm looking at. I'm going to try to multitask here and try to.
Oops, we're frozen just for a sec. Okay, and I'm
This book
oh, there
is.
it is. There
Oh,
you are. You're
okay.
back. Did
I
you do
can't
this
read
with
it.
Corey?
Yes,
Yay!
yes, who connected us? Yes,
Yes.
and this book is a fundraiser for Treasure House Fashions,
Oh,
and Treasure House Fashions is a nonprofit in the area that helps women from over 60 agencies during times of difficulties. Literally envelope them up, wrap them up in love, but most actual literally in clothes, and clothes that are name brand clothes, brand new clothes, just really beautiful clothes. Those who aren't in a difficult situation can go to the actual store. It's a phenomenal location and shop, and everything goes towards helping women in transition. So these are women who
oh,
might be in shelters due to abuse. They might have just come out of prison and they're now 10 sizes smaller than they were when they went in, but they're going out with all they have is the clothes that they went into prison with. They lost everything in the meantime. They've got nothing.
wow.
And or women that are just experiencing financial insecurity and they can't afford clothes, and
Right.
just what it feels like to have a brand new outfit, right? So we felt what a perfect nonprofit to support with this book, which are all stories of women experiencing hardship of some sort and coming out of it.
I love
And
that.
all of the proceeds were the book. But the
And that's
tagline,
in your area of Pennsylvania?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
So if you're ever in the area, you need to go shop. It's my absolute favorite place to shop.
And what's it called, the place?
Treasure House Fashions.
I will write it in here. Treasure
Yeah,
House Fashions. I love it. We have a place in downtown Riverside similar for breast cancer.
I love that.
Raise money around cancer, and it's same thing. Like people donate their clothes, and they get free passes. And there was a woman who started this company called Working Wardrobes, who just recently passed away. But she had this nonprofit for like 40 years, and people would donate like professional clothes. And then she had this thing where she would teach like job interview skills, and so for women, same thing. Either left their home in a hurry because of an abusive relationship, or was getting out of prison, or was just in financial hardship and they needed something professional to wear. And so this Working Wardrobes was like, I'm assuming it's still going on, but it's out here in California.
That's
But such a
awesome.
blessing. Like, and
Mhm,
you have just lost a lot of weight, gained a lot of weight, and you have these beautiful clothes you don't know
mhm.
what to do with. What an amazing opportunity to be able to bless
Right.
somebody with those outfits so they don't go to waste, right?
Yep,
Yeah, I
yep.
love it. I'm sorry. I just
Yeah.
was sharing that story and I didn't write it down. Say it again, Treasure?
Treasure House Fashions. Yeah, Treasure
Thank
House
you.
Fashion.
And it's in
And
Pennsylvania.
it's in Pennsylvania. Yeah. And what they really need most is shoppers, to be honest with you. They get so many donations to the point where literally stacks are to the roof and they can't get between doors because they're so full of donations, and they really need shoppers and volunteers to help shop. So
That's amazing. That's
I
amazing.
just
All right.
want
Well, we'll be promoting your course corrected book.
and actually I feel like I should share that Sally, who is the founder of Treasure House Fashions, the reason I'm so connected to her is because she is the mother of one of the friends that I had when I was a teenager, and I was a troublemaker. I did everything that you would never want your teenager to dabble into.
No,
Yes.
no. You look like the sweetest little angel. Oh my goodness.
Probably somewhat of a trauma response to overcompensate for the teenager that I was, right? So I was one of the memories that I have with her is that I was caught shoplifting, but I was afraid to call my mother. So I called Sally and I tried to get her to pretend to be my mom. She wouldn't do it, obviously, because she's a good human being, but she said, I'll still come and support you. And so she came just to support me with my friend, who's my best friend at the time. And my mom got there and she's like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, no, we're just here to support her. I mean, who does that, right?
That is so sweet. So
I
she's
know.
oh, and I love that she took the high road and didn't teach you that you could get away with stuff. Like, good for her,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So now
Yeah.
you're the woman you are today because she taught you morals and values.
And do you want to know what my mom did, by the way? She asked me, she didn't make me feel wrong or how could you or how embarrassing or how shameful. She asked me, why did you steal? And I said, well, I just, there's other families who have stuff. And now my heart breaks that I said this to her, but they have stuff. They can shop for things, they can buy things. And like, we can't do that. So I want that stuff. So I just thought I would steal it. And she handed me $20. And now, as a mom, I understand what that moment meant, and it is heartbreaking to me. But I think what a good response that she didn't make me wrong. She tried to understand, and I never shoplifted after that.
Wow.
So you don't
Wow.
have to punish a child in order
No.
for them to learn a lesson. You can just understand, where is this action coming from? How can I help you?
Right.
You know?
Right. Wow. Yeah. Because also, like, disappointing your mom is like huge. Like,
Mhm.
they don't have to spank you for you to know that they're disappointed and you don't
Right.
want that. Like, we were talking about that you lost your mom 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Sending a
Yeah.
big hug. I lost my mom 20 years ago this
Yeah.
July. It's coming up. Like, that's going to hit me hard. And you never stop missing your mom. It's
Right.
a thing. And but it's good to go back and think about the lessons that our moms gave us intentionally or unintentionally, right? Like,
Yeah.
sometimes they gave us lessons without saying a word, just watching their actions. And
Yep.
um yeah, so we have that
Yeah.
blessing.
And speaking of lessons, I was missing my mom extra hard yesterday, and I don't know why. Grief comes like that; it comes in waves, and you're like, I don't know why I'm so sad about it today. And I just felt this. I happened to have all the ingredients to make this dish that she would make all the time, and I never was able to accomplish it. And before she passed, I never took the time to actually get it right because you subconsciously just feel like they'll make it for me, but
Right.
she's not here anymore, and so I got the recipe from my aunt, and I had tried it before and failed, but this time I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it right. And it's this very simple recipe, but it has this pivotal moment that if you mess it up, you messed it up. There's no going back. Your entire dish is ruined. So it's called pollo con salsa gialla, which is just chicken with yellow sauce, and the temperature has to be just right in order for the sauce to come just right. And I got it last night, and it felt so good. And I literally was cheering of like, "Chela fatta!" And my kids all came running. They were like, What happened? What'd you do? What is it?" And I was like cheering like I just won the lottery. And I made them all eat it, even though, not half of them didn't want to eat it because they were like, "What is this?" It's this yellow
Yellow
sauce.
sauce. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom was not a good cook. So you have obviously a beautiful Italian mother. I'm sure everything
Yeah.
she made was delicious. My mom,
Yeah.
that wasn't her gift.
Yeah.
And
And it's not mine either.
well, it sounds like you try recipes. My mother didn't have recipes. She had casseroles, which
Okay.
was family of six, you do what you have to, right? So she would like lay out noodles,
Yeah.
or rice, and then, some tuna. If we,
Yes.
whatever meat
Yeah.
we had, a little bit
Yep.
spritz here and there because it wasn't enough for a lot for everyone. And then
Yeah.
she would, put in maybe a vegetable like corn from a can. Open the
Yeah.
can, spread the corn or peas, and then she
Yeah.
would pour cream of mushroom soup over
Yeah.
the top, right?
Uh-huh.
Mix it up, and then like sprinkle a little bit of cheese on top,
I
salt and
understand your
pepper.
mother all too well in this moment.
Yeah, and then just stuck it in the oven, and it was delicious. Like
Yeah, it
it was
sounds like
comfort
it.
food, right?
Yeah.
Or tuna on toast, which in the army they have a bad name for that. Was like my favorite. It was
Yeah.
it's tuna and mushroom soup,
I've
mushed
never had
together,
that.
put on toast, delicious. Anyways,
Interesting.
but that's the thing. Like my mom, she once was trying to be. I know we're probably going over sharing all these stories, but she was trying to be like
Yeah.
experimental, and she made eggplant parmesan. And it happened to be when the whole family was home. So I must have been really young because my oldest sister is 12 years older than me. So, oh, and you have a big spread too. So,
Yeah.
um, but anyways, but we were all home and we made the mistake of making fun of her because it did not taste good. Like it was literally the most disgusting thing. It was mushy. It was like like the skin was like hard, but the inside was like soupy. It was,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm having a flashback. It was so gross. Even a little girl was like, ugh. But my brothers and my like they all made fun of her, and my mom had enough, and she's
Yeah.
like, "You will sit here and you will eat this, and you'll be grateful, and you're not
Yeah.
going to go to bed until you do." We literally all fell asleep at the
Oh
table.
my
I think that we
god.
stayed up and like we're like, "What? Mom is so mean."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We all woke up in the morning. She had put in at midnight, I think she put the plates in the refrigerator and she
Yeah.
took them back out cold, put them in front of us and said, "You're not going out." It was like in summer. "You're not going
Yeah.
out to play or do anything until you eat this eggplant."
What a badass.
She
I
was
love that.
badass. Yeah. So we
See?
literally choked it down and we never made fun of her mother again.
Oh, no wonder. No wonder I have the issues that I have. I'm like, you know what, you guys, you're right. This is disgusting. I don't even want to eat it. But then I'm like, but that was dinner. So, oh,
Right. Well,
well.
I think she was going through the change or whatever,
Yeah,
I think she was like,
I love it. I love that she was able to do that. That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. But you know what?
Yeah.
I didn't eat eggplant until I was, I think, 55. And I thought, okay, I should like try it in honor of my mother.
Yeah.
And I ate
You
it. It was
liked it.
delicious. I'm
Yeah.
like, I've been not eating it all these years because of my mother.
It makes my tongue itchy, but it is delicious.
My daughter tells me that means you're allergic to it.
I probably am.
I never
Yeah.
think of that kind of stuff. I don't know. Walnuts make my tongue itch. She's like, that means you're
Yeah.
allergic to them. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I love
well,
that.
listen, okay, so just let's recap here. So
Yes.
you had shared a little bit about, of course, your wonderful book, Course Corrected, which is coming out on
Mhm.
September 4th, and we're going to all support
Yes.
it because it benefits the Treasure House fashions, which I love.
Yes.
You can be found. You are the money flow strategist, but if you go
Mhm.
and comment or tag a friend and comment on her Instagram,
On my
as you should,
reel, if you scroll back, in regards to the giveaway to the Black Oswald coffee, you'll see it says giveaway
okay.
contest. Um, you can win some free coffee for
I
yourself.
love that. I'm going to do that because I think I was showing you in our last show that I have this cool cup, Queen of
Love
Everything. I
it.
got to fill it with some
Yeah.
coffee. Love
Yeah, you
that.
do. And then I also do what I'm promoting right now. I'm really focusing on is my business incubator, which my is a one-on-one, one day where we map it all out in order to set up your business for profit, for peace, and for ample free time, and to reduce that risk of failure and just make it fun. Because honestly, why start a business if it's going to be a headache? Um,
Exactly. Well, I want to, I
Go get a
thank you
job
so much.
otherwise. I always say,
What'd you say?
go get a job otherwise if you don't
Right.
enjoy running your business. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I had written this down because I thought it was so cool. Your one day business incubator is called Made to Thrive.
Yeah.
And I think that's true. We are all made to thrive. And
Yeah.
so, Marta, thank you for coming up with a way to teach people how to thrive in their business and in life. So,
Yeah. Thank you.
good on
Yeah.
you, girl. Good on you. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up the Brilliant Marketing with Mary show, even though I wrote that wrong. Um, and again, thank you, Marta, for being my guest today. This has been a revive of the show because I haven't done it in a little while.
Yeah, I
So
love
thank you
that.
for coming on to do that. And again, I just realized I have all these things in here. So if anyone wants to join my community, I have a marketing innovators playground where I share all kinds of fun tools and tricks, a lot of AI fun stuff. So if you want to get that, I'll put the link in the comments to make it easy. But also make sure that you look for the Course Corrected book when it comes out in September, just a couple months away.
That's
Wow.
right. That's
Love it.
right.
I love it. And again, thank you for helping us use our mess to fine tune our message. I think that
Yeah,
you're right. We need to be vulnerable, let people know who we really are, pull back the curtain. And I think so many more, we could help so many more people.
absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Until next time, and then stay on really quick and we'll take a quick picture, Marta. But until next time, thank you all for joining us and learning some brilliant tips from our brilliant guests. And have a blessed